Cats and dogs. Typically, these types of cards, especially in special release, command a premium, and there's a whole secret layer commander deck coming out filled with our canines and felines.
Cats and dogs typically are very popular because, spoiler, people like cats and dogs. We're talking about the new secret layer. We're comparing it to the old ones. Let's get into it. Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat.
Huge shout out to our sponsors on the channel that allow us to do this full time. Card Conduit, best place to sell your cards on the internet. TCG Player, official online store of Jake and Joel are Magic, the best place to buy cards. Dragon Shield, best way to protect your cards. And Moxfield, the best place to list your cards on the internet.
You can find links to all of our sponsors in the description of the video. Go down there, poke around, click some stuff, and see what happens. Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your meows with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel the Magic. We got a secret layer commander deck, y'all. This is like the fourth one of these I think we've seen. Cute to Brute, Coin Flip, and Angels, if that's the other three. And this one, holy moly, Jake, it's cats and dogs. We're always talking about cat and dog cards on the channel, especially ones that are in special treatment. And this whole gimmick of this cat and dog secret layer here is that we've got 5 cards, brand new art, that are reversible, with the most notable price wise being Anointed Procession. And so you can pick which side you want to play. But as far as reprints go, leading the pack with Anointed Procession and the yet to be revealed Soul Ring, this is what's gonna look different from regular cards, Jake, if you buy the deck outright.
Yeah, and just to kind of shed some light on the deck, if you're new here, when Joel said that there have been 3 of these before, this being the 4th one, these are fully constructed decks. A lot of the cards in them are reprints. I should say commander decks, meaning it's going to be a 100 card deck. And you're getting a pre-constructed deck, and some of the cards, like we see here, are going to have different art. My gut is telling me that the Soul Ring is going to be like maybe like a dog chew toy, like a circular chew toy, and the dog is like pulling on it, maybe. Yeah. I don't really know what it's going to be, but
it's going to be something cute that people are going to love. Yeah. I mean, it's a cat and dog layer. The other new cards here, Jake, are the Plains, the Mountain, and the Forest, of which you get 10, 5, and 7, respectively, in the deck.
Ooh.
And then you also get
each of those?
Of each of these.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, that is one of the big selling points, strangely enough, to me on this one, is that we can get some matching dog and cat basics.
Is there a doodle?
Is there a golden
doodle?
Well, you've got a retriever back here. I didn't see a doodle when I first was looking. Yeah, there's a lot of options in there, but I don't see a doodle. The other new card is a dog/cat token with new art on it. But other than that, you're getting 73, like you said, non-foil reprint spells and non-basic lands, and 11 non-foil tokens, plus 2 traditional foil dog and cat tokens with new artwork. So we've got the whole list here, and for convenience, I took our list over to Moxfield, thanks to our sponsor Moxfield for having such an incredible website, where we can look at the cards and their prices at the same time. This is the 100 cards in the deck, and as you can see, Jake, a lot of the value of this, talking about $240 worth of value. Oh yeah, driven by scarcity, and we've got a heavy top end. Typically the commander's not this expensive.
Yeah, it's a pretty desirable version of the card, the extended art version of Rin and Siri, and this was kind of in the beginning of the variant era. So this is I believe it was actually a buy a box promo.
It was.
Oh yes, reading the card.
Right.
So yeah, that was a hard to get version of the card. You couldn't get that just popping up in collector packs. So I like this version. It's an adorable card, and as we've already mentioned, there's the cat and dog premium, and now we have a fully constructed deck. So this card might itself take a hit, but it still has its own aesthetic, and for people that don't want a card that flips on both sides, that actually want Magic the Gathering on the back,
right?
I think the original version is still gonna be desirable.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a good point. We should note, when I have this list right here, viewer, these are not the actual printings. A lot of these are. You're going to see reprints of cards like these in here, but like Kit Kento, for example, This is one of the ones I believe, no, it was Jenny Faye. Sorry, it was Jetmir's second that got the reprint. So only these are going to have new versions, whereas all of these will mostly be reprints in here. Talking about value, Jake, $80 on the creatures, but it's really top heavy. Brimaz at a $16 card, and Kasali
we
Slingers.
Called that. Yeah, I mean, that made sense, right? Is like this card needed a reprint, and Slingers, what better time to do it?
The only other version of Slingers, this is online. The only other version of Slingers is another secret layer version that is $19. And so
interesting.
Yeah, okay. When you start looking at stuff like that, you know, we'll get the new version of Jetmir here. Sorcery's not a ton. You get a Nature's Lore, which is a really sweet card. You get a 3 visits, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, you get some good cards there. Instants, you get a Path to Exile and a Changeling card. It'll be interesting. I think this will be the first time. I'm not sure if they're reprinting these lists style where this will still say tribal instant, but Wizards has dropped that word and they've changed it to kindred on cards. And so I'm curious to see if this is going to be the first crib swap or first tribal instant that we see that is now a kindred instant. That might be something interesting to look out for.
I remember when Path was like a $5 card and you would get super excited to open it in like a master set because you're getting a premium removal.
Now it's reprinted and everything. Yeah, I mean, it's just
$1.
It is.
I'm actually surprised it's $1.
Right. Yeah.
It is a format defining card. You're right.
$25 in artifacts on the deck.
These are good.
Maskwood Nexus makes a lot of sense. It doubles up all of your creatures. Instead of just being a dog or a cat, it's a dog and a cat, triggering your commander even more. $6 on Skull Clamp, really great in a token creation deck, and then just value down from there. A couple nice $2 and $3 cards. Enchantments, $64 of enchantments, but this one is a little misleading because all of the value, $46 of that 64 anyway, is Anointed Procession with
and then
Lurking
the rest
Predators.
Is what, Lurking Predators?
Yeah, $10 there, and then everything
Vote
down
Our
from
Retreat
there,
is a
$3.
fantastic card.
Oh yeah, it's awesome to have. This is a really well-built deck, I will say that. You know, Cute to Brute kind of got some ire from the community because the deck itself wasn't that great, but the Angels deck was built really well, and the Coin Flip deck is good as well.
So what we're looking at here is the land base, and as you can expect, we're not going to see any huge over-the-top inclusions, but we are seeing some good stuff like Jetmir's Garden.
That's really
that is
the
a fantastic inclusion, and then also the check lands. I'm never upset to get check lands. They're just super useful. That's the Clifftop, Rootbound, and Sunpetal Grove that you see there.
So that's the deck list, about $240 worth of value. Let's look at our financial breakdown from our mod on the channel, Spectre, aka the numbers guy. Thank you, Spectre.
Spectre, invaluable info here. We appreciate you very much.
$240, as you can see right here in singles price. If you look at a 35% loss on this deck, Jake, it's very interesting to see that you are still above value. $149.99 is the price of this layer. $156 if and when some of these prices drop 35%. But as you'll see in a little bit, a drop may not be something you can 100% count on with this deck. Jake, the top 10 cards you can see of that 240, the top 10 cards are representing nearly 50% of the entire value, with that Anointed Procession leading the pack. And honestly, my favorite, that Jetmir's Garden, kind of sneaky good third most valuable card in the deck.
Yeah, those are just so valuable. I love them in constructed decks that need the 3 colors just as a one-of. You're just able to fetch it up. It's just so valuable. And in Commander as well. They're perfect cards. I love them. I love them dearly. And you can cycle them. I'm going to stop talking about how great the triomes are.
Yeah, do that in private. Do that in private when none of us are watching.
That's right.
Our semi-annual Quasali Slingers reprint coming through a secret layer. The only way I guess we're ever going to get this card again. Cheers to Wizards. Thank you for that one. I love the $10 Lurking Predators in there too. I think that is one that you can't really sleep on, because in this deck it plays a very, very interesting role. For only 6 mana, you get this onto the battlefield. Pretty sweet there.
But EDH, it's such a card that if you're playing like big green, just like battle cruiser type, like you might as well just run this.
Oh, 100%.
It's just a good card.
Well, and this one is when,
especially if you have top and you're able to like mess with the top of your deck.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just adding to your totals of dealing damage from your dogs and gaining life from your cats. Yeah, excellent.
Oh yeah.
So as far as the out of the box value for this one, it's there, and it's pretty hedged against losing too much value itself. But that's kind of a moot point with these commander deck secret layers, y'all. Let's look at Angels. They're just like us. We're going to look at the other 3 secret layer commander decks here to kind of have a comp price, or at least a comp, behavior that we can look at and see if we can determine how we think this will act after it's hit the market. Angels here was $150. Yeah, $150 for this one. Came out less than 6 months ago. Already up to $350 market price.
Shenanigans.
And y'all,
that is pretty wild.
It was the exact same strategy as cats and dogs. I showed you that the in Raining Cats and Dogs, $240 for the single price. Look at this. These are the numbers for the release of Angels. They're just like us, except cooler and with wings. $241 of single price at release. That is not an accident, y'all. That's not an accident. But
nor is it financial advice.
Nor it is financial advice. We're just pointing at numbers doing things
that have happened.
We're just looking at things. Numbers doing stuff is all we're looking at.
That's right.
$350 now to buy the Angels one. Heads I Win, Tails You Lose was the first one of these we ever saw. This one was also this one was $100. This one was foil, yes, but it was only $100. Now it's up to a $244 market price. This one's been a little more tumultuous. You can kind of see the 1 year chart here, up and down and up and down and up and down. Big spike there.
Now up.
Yeah, I think people are seeing the collectability of these secret layer drop commander decks. Honestly, I think that probably the Angels one, doing what it's done in less than 6 months, has got people on this train real hard. Because these
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Angels and talk about this. So let's put Cute to Brute and Coin Flip to the side.
Yeah.
A big thing about this deck, very relevant creature type. We got Angels.
Oh yeah.
This is like a beloved creature type.
100%.
Going all the way back to Sarah Angel.
It's like dragons.
Beginning of the game.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Angels and Dragons. There's been dual decks, Angels versus Dragons,
right,
that kind of stuff. Or no, Angels versus Demons, but either way, Demons, Dragons, Angels, all very relevant creature types. Dog and cat, it's a little bit, there's less support for it.
For sure.
However, given the fact that people are such dog and cat lovers, I'm not surprised that the deck exists. I do think it will probably behave somewhat like the Angels deck is doing, not financial advice.
You know what's interesting to your point, Jake? Less support. Okay. We see what Angels is doing with more support.
Yeah.
Same amount of popularity, comparable popularity, potentially. You need the cards that are in this deck to play that dog and cat deck. So to me, that sounds like there's fewer of these cat cards out in the world, and you need the ones that come in this deck to play this archetype. So maybe this one's even more desirable. Not financial advice. Please don't FOMO because of my words. But I'm kind of FOMOing over here.
It is interesting that we get this alongside a set that is releasing cards like Dog Walker.
Correct.
Isn't that interesting as well? We're getting new dog support.
Interesting,
and we haven't even
word.
seen all of that set.
Intentional is another.
Intentional is a word that exists.
Heads I Win.
We're just bringing up.
Tails You Lose. Also acting really, really good financially. Look at this one. Cute to Brute. This one was sold for $150. This is kind of the redheaded stepchild of the bunch.
This was like the flip one, right?
Yes. So this one got the community. The community doesn't really like flip cards as much.
Yeah.
The deck itself was more gimmick than playable, whereas the Angel deck and the Coin Flip deck were already pretty tuned, ready to roll. This one was a little more like, we put flip cards in it. There's not really like putting all the flip cards in a deck isn't the same as putting all the dinosaur cards in a deck. They don't synergize the same way.
Yeah, exactly. One of the memes of this when it first came out was people were saying, well, it's not really playable, but if you don't have any of those cards, it's a great pickup because you can just fill out a collection with that stuff.
Yes. But all of that said, even after all of that, this one hasn't yet. This one has been out just under a year.
Right.
And it is up at 200 where the purchase price was 150. So even this one, from a financial standpoint, not bad. Playability, lowest of all of these. You know, we got solid playability here, high playability here. And then with this cat and dog one, I mean, 34, and it looks like they went in. They went in, they were like, look, we're doing mostly cats. Look how many cats are popping up here. We're gonna do mostly cats. That's going to really trigger creating dogs, and that's how we're gonna roll on the final ability here. Playability seems there. Little more interaction, probably. Anointed? Yeah, I'm telling you, like, the things are there. Maybe we do a little upgrade on this deck, but the thing is like playability really high here.
The artifacts, that's actually a pretty stacked slot as well, with Herald's Horn, Skull Clamp. What was the other one I saw in there that's pretty good?
Vanquisher's Banner. Look at Basilisk Collar on our commander. Gives the commander death touch.
Right.
And Ren and Ciri is dealing damage with its ability. Yeah. So you only need one dog on the battlefield, and suddenly you are pumping them with your death touching Ren and Ciri. I would say
that's got to be like a rabid bite, right?
Right. Something like this is an excellent way to just have a deck right out of the gate, and then have a project deck where you look at every set coming out and you're like, oh, any new cats or dogs I can put in this deck? The value is there. The playability is there. This is a 100% recommended buy from me. Jake, what do you think about this one?
I will probably be buying one at least. I may buy two and then go with the buy one, keep one, sell one later. That way I can possibly recoup some of my cost or all of my cost from the original.
Yeah, I think that's my plan as well, is buy two, play one, hold one, sell later for twice the cost, try and get one for free. That's the strategy for me here. Y'all, those are our thoughts. Let us know down in the comments if you're going to get this one, what you think of it. If you want to support us for free, hit that subscribe button. If you want to support us for some money, go check out our Patreon. Lots of fun stuff over there to get into.
Big thank you to all of our patrons. You help us do this, and our Patreon is a big emphasis this year. So if you do want to get involved with Jake and Joel, go on into the description of the video, go and check out our Patreon, and that is a great way to do it. But yeah, this secret lair, it's a buy for me, and we will see you on the flippity.